Hello, and guys, welcome to the OSSR radio show. Guys, I hope you're well. I hope you had a good week. Guys, we're going to have some fun. We're going to do a lot of learning today. We do in every session, but we're really going to talk about ourselves, loneliness, how we can deal with it. Guys, we're going to have some fun. Hold on tight.
So many things that's held us down, but now it looks like things are finally coming around. I know we've got a long way to go, and where we'll end up, I don't know. But we won't let nothing hold us back. We're putting our show together, we're polishing up our act, girl. And if you've ever been held down before, I know you refuse to be held down anymore.
So guys, how are you doing? Guys, so good to speak to you. Obviously so much has happened. We've spoken about this whole thing about the tier 1, tier 2, tier 3. Do you know what? I think it's tiers for everyone. It's trying to understand what's going on. I'm trying to give you some tools and techniques to try to move through this. Let's go for it, yeah? So guys, what I want to be talking about, I really want to talk about understanding others, understanding ourselves, and understanding loneliness. I think a lot of us are in a big challenge at the moment, trying to see how we can deal with this. It doesn't seem to be an end, but what I want to be able to do is give you some tools, some techniques, some ideas. I'm going to keep it upbeat. It's not going to be a low kind of thing. We're going to keep going. We're going to keep the energy going. But what I want to do is give you some tools so we can really work ourselves, not just getting through it, but getting from it. Okay, let's go for it. Come on.
Don't you let nothing stand in your way. I want y'all to listen to every word I say, every word I say. No. We're moving, we're grooving.
Okay, well, first of all, I want to give a big shout out to Peacekeeper. Thank you for those 2 hours. They were magnificent. Before we get going on with techniques and understanding this, guys, let's just drop a track just to get you in that mood. Get yourself swinging. Come on. let's now start talking about how we feel. And what I want to do is break this down into sections as follows. What I want to be able to do, I'm going to be talking about you, about what you can do. Then I want to talk about others. So the effect that others can have on us. So first of all, let's look at what loneliness is defined as. It's defined as the quality of being unfrequently or remote in isolation. I think unfrequently means that you're not visited or not seen or very felt on your own. The whole idea, and what I want to start realizing, is that loneliness and how this is all generated does start with us. Now, obviously, this whole lockdown thing is having a massive effect on all of us. But the first thing I think we have to start with is ourselves. And what I want to start doing, I'm just going to pose some questions about what you can control. Okay? I've got about 7 points I'm going to talk about to what you can control. So what we're doing, yes, we're looking at loneliness. But first of all, we have to empower ourselves. Okay? So the first thing I want to talk about is our beliefs. Alright? What do you believe about yourself being lonely? So in other words, why do you believe that you are lonely? Now that might sound obvious. You might be saying, well, Steve, I come home from work and, I'm sitting there watching TV. There's no one really in my life at the moment. And I'm sitting there watching TV and there's nothing at all. However, I think it's so important you start to interpret, is there anything you can do about that situation? So first thing, guys, is looking at your beliefs. Now, before we do anything more about that, guys, what we're going to do, I'm going to drop one track that really just picks everything up. I'm going to keep it going. Come on! That was Crystal. Now guys, just listen carefully to what I'm saying. I'm now going to be talking about what you can control. So first of all, started with your beliefs. Listen to this. Your beliefs determine what you gain in life. Now I'm working with a guy at the moment, and he's having some real challenges when it comes to loneliness. He's really unsure about how things are happening in his life. Now, I said this to him, which was very important. And if you have a pen and paper ready, please make a note of this. Your beliefs determine your gain in life. Now let me explain. Your beliefs determine your attitude. Your attitude determines how you feel. How you feel determines how you act. And how you act determines what you gain in life. This is really important, because obviously loneliness and what's going on with all this tier 1, tier 2, tier 3 is a challenge for everyone. But what I think is so important, it has to start with you. And it starts with your beliefs about yourself. So you can control that, all right? You can control that. So if you decided now to say, right, do you know what? I'm not lonely, I'm fine. If your belief was strong enough, that would happen. Now, we'll give you tips and techniques later on, but I just think it's important, first of all, you deal with what you can control, and it's your own beliefs. All right, so that's the first line, guys. Thinking very much of what you can control. A little kind of break, a massive thanks out for Tony and Andrea and Michelle that have just sent messages in. Guys, what I'd love you to do, post some questions. If you go on my Facebook, click on, you can go in the chat room, by all means, just post some questions in there, because I think this is going to be such a big thing for all of us. I think what's happening nowadays, if we don't address this, I think, and it's not being negative, I think we're going to have some major problems 5 years down the line, because I think we will come out of this, we will. But how scarred we will be. And one of the things we've got to be important of, we've got to be able to look at what we can control. So the first thing is we can control our beliefs. The next one is our attitude. I'm going to talk more about that in a minute, but I think Mr. Wonder wants to say something about that. Oh, love this tune. Whoa.
What would be my door?
Stevie Wonder, don't you love him? Cranking up the energy, love that. Thank you so much for the comments, keep them flying. Mimi, thank you so much. Naive, thank you so much, saying what she said. Oh, it was a great comment, really. Just realising that a lot of positive has come from this lockdown, where people, especially OSSR, have got together and we've really felt like a community. And I mean, I think it's like Naive was saying, it's just that hugging, being able to hold someone, being able to connect with someone. And I really understand that. And I think most of us now in this situation are thinking, well, when will this end? So what we've spoken about already, guys, is beliefs. Remember I said beliefs determine what you gain in life? Let's now move to attitude. Now, what I'm doing, I'm talking about the things that we can deal with, because I think that's the only place to start with. A friend of mine was telling me about the whole thing about M25 this morning, how they're thinking about putting a tax on the M25. They're also thinking about putting a tax on the North Circular as well. And you know what? I stopped him. And I said, mate, look, I really appreciate what you're telling me here, but these are things at the moment, A, haven't happened, and B, I can't do anything about at the moment. I think what we need to do is focus on what we can control. And he went quiet and he said, yeah, I know what you mean, Steve, but what? I said, no, I don't think there's a but. I think we have to deal with what we can control, and then when we're in control of ourselves, then we can get out there and do other things. Don't get me wrong, I'm not saying it's not important about them possibly putting M25 tax, which is ridiculous, on the North Circular and even the South Circular. But let's first of all start with what you can control. Yeah? So the next one is attitude. Attitude of gratitude. I think this is so important. Just looking at what you've got. Now, I know that's often a massive challenge, because you're thinking, Steve, I haven't got anything. I can't salsa, can't meet my mates, can't give a hug to my best friend, I can't do anything. Listen, it's a bit like that M25 North Circular thing. We've got to realign how we're looking at what we have. And what we have, hopefully, is good health. You're able to get up, walk about. Hopefully, some of you are working. What I'm going to say, guys, is that gratitude is where we have to start from. I think if we start drifting to things we can't control, that's when it all falls apart. So, guys, think about that. The beliefs, gratitude is so important. Guys, I'm going to drop this track because I just love it. I heard it in the week and I thought I've got to drop it again. What a tune! Love it.
Someone to give my love.
out to Gilliam. Don't you just love that tune? Takes you back in time. A massive shout out to Mimi. Been hearing her in the chat room. Really appreciate your comments. And I just have to read what she's written here because it is so profound. She says she's learnt that people reach out to you and then ignore you. I've moved on from that, she says. Meanwhile, others are so self-absorbed and involved in their own sorrow, they cannot see other people's pain. Everybody deals with life and loneliness differently. And you know, that is so true, isn't it? And thank you so much, Mimi. And she asked me just to repeat what I said earlier about the beliefs equal gain in life. Let me say it one more time. Your beliefs determine your gain in life. Yeah? So first, your beliefs determine your attitude. Okay? So for example, if you don't believe that you're going to attempt to do something and it's going to work, you'll have an attitude about not doing it. Does that make sense? So you'll make an effort to do it, but your attitude is, well, it's not going to work anyway. All right? Your attitude then determines how you feel. I read somewhere 78% of people in jobs they dislike. The highest heart attack rate is on a Monday morning between 6 o'clock and 9 o'clock. Why? Because people feel that going to work, especially on Monday morning, is bad news. How you feel then determines what you gain in life or what you get from life. And 9 times out of 10 you tend to find a lot of people in this mindset that work is not something that's going to take them anywhere. It's going to take them in a negative place. So again, your beliefs, once that changes, what you gain from life will change. Does that make sense? So your belief equals what you change in life. So it's for you to make that change. So thank you so much for the feedback. And guys, keep the messages coming in because that's what this is all about. And it's all about growing. So thank you so much indeed. So let's now move on to our thoughts. And I touched on a little bit about that. What are your thoughts? You can control your thoughts. Okay? You can control your thoughts. Alright, this is so important because once you've got that clear in your mind, you then hopefully can start thinking about how you can decide what you want to do, for example, tomorrow. Because your thoughts now can determine what happens tomorrow. So you can control your beliefs, that's number one. You can control your attitude, and then you can control your thoughts. Now this is so important. I'm going to talk more about the thoughts later on, but your thoughts are often influenced by what is coming in from the outside. In other words, news, social media. I got some petrol in my car today and I saw on the front page of the newspaper, I don't know if you guys know, but I don't buy the newspaper, but it had COVID alert. Front page of the Sun newspaper. Now I don't know if you know, but Sun newspaper is the highest selling newspaper in the UK. And what's it got on the front page? COVID alert. See, what I'm saying is if you're seeing that, that will affect your thoughts. And I think if we're not aware of that, subconsciously it's going to have a terrible effect on us. So again, keeping it positive, talking about what you can control, your beliefs you can control, your attitude or gratitude you can control, and finally you can control your thoughts. You can also control Ben E. King, but I don't think you can. What a tune. Check it out. Love this man. Ooh, go ahead. Some great comments coming in, guys. Please keep this in. This is excellent. Salsa guy, thank you so much for your comments. He says that the salsa scene will never return to what it is. It's time to move on. I just hold the fond memories of what it was. I think he's got a very valid point. I think we are at this stage where going back to what we once knew won't ever happen. However, what I will say, and it was a good point made here by Eve, where she said really it's all about holding tight and just believing that things can happen. Big shout out for Paul McCann as well. Great messages coming through here. All about mindset, he said, was very important. And I made a comment just listening to some of the comments in the chat room, and I said that when logic enters the frame, or when fear enters the frame, logic leaves. Let me say that again. When fear enters the frame, logic leaves. I think Mimu's making the point there are some people that become quite within themselves and they don't even realise, that they've just kind of lost all connections with other people because of the fear they're in. And I think this is so important, guys, isn't it? Because if we're able to address our fear, in other words, look at what we can control, then we've got a better chance, haven't you? That quote, I love it. When fear enters the frame, logic leaves. I mean, we could talk about the toilet paper till the cows come home. I mean, what was all the toilet paper buying about? But because one person did it, and because there was a fear, a shortage, what happens? All the people lost logic, and all of a sudden started buying loads of toilet paper. I mean, what was going on there, guys? So, great comments, and let's keep this going because it's so important to realise what we can control. Quick summarisation, what we got, guys. We can control our beliefs, we can control our attitude of gratitude, we can control our thoughts. Now, guys, let's get a bit physical now. We can control how often we exercise. Now, I know to many of people, when you've heard that word, you thought, right, turn it off, I can't listen to Steve anymore. But no, this is important. It's not compulsory to exercise. Yeah, you won't be locked up and arrested for not doing it. So what I'm talking about is what are you doing to control the vehicle, in other words your body, that takes you through life? This is very serious because your physical state will affect your mental state. One of the things I'm going to suggest to you is that grab hold of the control of what you do when it comes to exercising. And what I'm talking about is just maybe going out, getting a walk. I mean, there's Andrew who's also listening. She does the whole yoga thing. Amazing lady she is, all around the yoga. What I'm saying, guys, is you have to control what's going to work and what you need for yourself. It's important because if you don't, what happens is that physically your body lets you down, even though your mind is very sharp. This is so important to bear that in mind. So guys, think about it. What are you going to do regarding controlling exercise? Have you got a routine? Anything at all? And while you're thinking about that, let's listen to Monk and Steph. I love this one. Woo!
Name, don't you wish you had the same?
Mo Can Stiff, love it. Great comment there by Salsa guy there. He said his mind is fixed and he's going to do what he needs to do and he's going to give things a try. And here's another quote which I think is so important. The best thing to do is the right thing. The next thing to do is the wrong thing. But the worst thing to do is nothing. And I just think that quote is so important. It's just about taking action. And when you take action, guys, that's when something's going to happen. If you don't do anything at all, something then happens to you. Yeah, I'm sure you've experienced that when you thought to yourself, oh my gosh, why don't I do something about that? That wouldn't have happened. So guys, it's about taking action. Guys, let's now talk about what else we can control. We can control how often we think about the past. Let me say that again. We can control how often we think about the past. This is so important. I do a lot of reading, all right, and I think reading is really important. And I came across a guy called Søren Kierkegaard that once said that you're living in your now, and your now is all you can control. The past and the future are illusions. They don't exist. Oh, I just love that because it's true, isn't it? It's 2:43 now, and in this time, I can control this time. This is my time. However, how many times do you come across people that actually get their past and they drop it into their 2:43 time? Does that make sense? So when you ask them how they are, they give you a reference to what happened 6 weeks ago, 6 years ago, 10 years ago. Does that make sense? They never actually live in the now. You have control to do that. And I had to do that, as I said earlier, with my friend this morning when he started talking about the M25 situation and all of that stuff. You know, for me, as I said to him, look, mate, I really understand why you're telling me this, but I want to live in the now. That hasn't happened. I'm not saying I'm not concerned about it, but it's not affecting my now time. So this is important because when you look at what you can control, guys, all of a sudden, hopefully you're starting to think, yeah, do you know what? I can actually do something about all of these things. So let's have a brief recap. I spoke about beliefs. You can control your beliefs. Your beliefs determine what you're going in life. You can do that. Number two, guys, you can control your attitude of gratitude. Now, it might be very challenging. I'm sure it is for some people out there. However, you have things you can say you're grateful for. You can control your thoughts. Yeah, that's often done by, the TV you watch and newspapers you read, etc. You can also control the amount of times you decide to exercise. And I know that word exercise in itself makes you think, oh, Steve, I don't want to go down this road. But the exercise looks after the vehicle, which is your body, which takes you through life. So I think you have to put something aside for that. And the next one, as I said earlier, guys, you have to be able to control your past by controlling yourself now. Does that make sense? So live in the now. The past can be used as a guide, yeah? But don't live there. Have you noticed when you get in the car, the windscreen, when you look at the windscreen, it's massive, isn't it? Yeah? If you look at the rear view mirror, it's tiny. And I think that's a metaphor for all of us, is that we must not spend our lives looking in the rear view mirror, because that's not going to get you forward. Does that make sense? So looking at that bigger screen is what you need to do. So guys, please bear this in mind. But all of the stuff I've spoken about, you can control. This is all about you. Now, I don't know if you can control yourself when I drop this track, because I absolutely love it. Oh, love it. CKP, rocking my way.
Friday night, looking for a man that'll do me right. First move that I made was on the dance floor.
love that tune. But you know what? I'm going to keep the vibe going because I just love this next tune. Check this one out. Just as good. Love it. Get ready.
You should know that I've got you on my mind. Your secret admirer. I've been watching you. At night, I think of you. I want to be your lady, baby. The game is on, give me a call, boo. If you're loving strong, I give my all to you. At night, I think of you. I want to be your lady, baby. If your game is on, give me a call, boo. If you're loving strong, I give my all to you. Every day I pray my heart can win. Every night I pray I can call you my man. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I need you. I want you to have you, hold you, squeeze you. So I'm going out every weekend just to see my boo again. At night I think of you. I want to be your lady, baby. Your game is on, give me a call, boo. If you're loving strong, I give my all to you. At night I think of you. I want to be your lady, baby. Your game is on, give me a call, boo. If you're loving strong, I give my all to you. These feelings I have for you can go deeper if you can come correct with your game, boy. No, you can't be lame, boy. But if you can please me, then my love will come easy. I'll do anything you want. Freak me, boy. I'm thinking of you. At night, I think of you. I want to be your lady, baby. Your game is on, give me a call, boo. If you're loving strong, I give my all to you. At night, I think of you. I want to be your lady, baby. If your game is on, give me a call, boo. If you're loving strong, I give my all to you. Boy, you've got all I need from what I see. And boy, every night I am constantly thinking of you. At night, I think of you. I want to be your lady, baby. If your game is on, give me a call, boo. If you're loving strong, I give my all to you. At night, I think of you. I want to be your lady, baby. If your game is on, give me a call, boo. If you're loving strong, I give my all to you. At night, I think of you. I want to be your lady, baby. If your game is on, give me a call, boo. If you're loving strong, I give my all to you.
Oh, don't you love that? And thank you so much for the comments flying in. Sib, thank you so much for your comments saying you're enjoying the music, the quotes and the advice. And that's really what this show's all about, is kind of mixing in that motivational stuff as well as keeping the beats going as well. Can you believe it? It's nearly 3 o'clock as well. I cannot believe it. Now, don't you be going anywhere at 4 o'clock because the main man in Kazumba, is around. Just I call him Mr. Coffee because he is the man with the coffee. He's also rushing off to Leicester afterwards. It's DJ M dropping the very best in Kazumba. So guys, don't go anywhere. Now, as you might know if you listen to my show on the hour, I always drop into a little bit of salsa. Talking about salsa, great comments were made about salsa. It will come back in a different guise, I believe. I believe that bubbles are in at the moment where you're with someone and you just dance with them all the time. So yes, salsa's there. I love salsa. Do you know what? And I have to drop a bit of my salsa. I can't stop playing salsa at all. Come on, let's go.
Para tu andar cadencioso, la rumba es una caricia. Bailas con tanta malicia, pero tan llena de gozo, que en mi boca se despierta el paladar del deseo. Y cada vez que te veo, mi mente se desconcierta. Y para colmo de males, me miras de esa manera, con esos dos manantiales que son tus ojos, rumbera, y tras tu piel embrujada y tu perfume de mar, mi corazón galopaba y mi alma echaba a volar. Ay, baila mi canción que la tentación me pone mal. Esa sabrosura de tu cintura es muy sensual. Mueve tus caderas, por favor, rumbera, que me tienes como agua pa' chocolate. Y para colmo de males me miras de esa manera, con esos dos manantiales que son tus ojos, rumbera, y tras tu piel embrujada y tu perfume de mar, mi corazón galopaba y mi alma echaba a volar. Ay, baila mi canción que la tentación me pone mal. Esa sabrosura de tu cintura es muy sensual. Mueve tus caderas, ay, por favor, rumbera, que me tienes como agua pa' chocolate. Baila mi canción que la tentación me pone mal. Ay, rumberita, esa sabrosura de tu cintura es muy sensual. Ay, ay, qué bonita. Mueve tus caderas, oh, por favor, rumbera, que me tienes como agua pa' chocolate. Que me tienes como agua pa' chocolate. Encontré en la barbera, tú ves.
Desde que yo la vi,
Ya la vi
por vez primera,
cuando la conocí.
me enamoró esa rumbera.
Oye, como diría Marco Antonio, yo por mi rumbera, a donde quiera que me quiera voy, a donde quiera.
Desde que yo la vi,
Ay, 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 ay.
por vez primera,
Oh, cuando la conocí.
me enamoró esa rumbera.
María Antonieta Pons, Blanquita Amaro, Iris y Lourdes Chacón, ellas son unas rumberas que bailan con emoción, tú verás. ¡Oh! ¡Ay! ¡Qué rico!
love that, love that. Thank you so much. Comments coming through from Sib Ellie, really appreciate that. But Sib, you're telling me she's just, do you know what? She said she's just woken up. I told her it was nearly 3 o'clock and she just messaged me saying, oh my gosh, it's just 3 o'clock. Listen, I've got to drop this tune to wake Sib up. Sib, it's time to wake up. Come on, let's go. Move, come on. Don't you love it? Thank you very much indeed, Sib, for your comments. She has been up, but she's been doing the whole Instagram thing. But guys, I just love that tune. It's brilliant. So let's do a quick recap, because in this first hour, like I said, I wanted to talk about you, what you could control. So we spoke about controlling your beliefs. We know we can control our beliefs. It's up to us, and we can decide what we want to do. The next thing is, guys, that the attitude determines your gratitude. So please realize, be grateful. I know it's a challenging time, but you can control that. So there's two things you can control. The next thing is your thoughts. Remember I said earlier about the thoughts? It can have a massive effect on what you let in, but you can control that. The next thing, guys, I said earlier, is about exercise. Listen, in my opinion, I think you have to get a system going, something that's for you, that can help the vehicle, which is your body, take you through life. Next thing, guys, is looking about not living in the past, living in the now. Now is all you can control. Now, guys, I want to give you one thing before we move into giving you some tips about, loneliness and how to address it. And it's all about taking a risk. I read this many moons ago, and I'm always reading, is that if you don't take risks, you can't grow. If you can't grow, you can't be your best. If you can't be your best, you can't be happy. And if you can't be happy, what else is there? for me, that means so much to me, because what I'm going to say to you now is that you have to take risks. Life is a risk, isn't it? So guys, let me say it one more time, yeah? Taking risks are very important. So if you don't take risks, you can't grow, alright? You can't grow. So in other words, you can't be your best if you're in a work situation where you know you could do a lot better and a better job and better paid. You can't do your best because you're in an environment which is obviously less than you, yeah? If you can't be your best, you can't be happy. So you might think you're happy and happy what you're being paid, but the reality is that you have to push yourself, yeah? And if you can't be happy, you really, I mean, what else is there? So taking risks, guys, is very, very important. Now, I'm going to drop this young lady who's going to smooth us into after 3 o'clock, finishing at 4, looking forward to the Kazumba Man. Listen carefully, I love this tune.
That's the way love goes.
Like a moth to a flame burned by the fire.
That's the way love.
My love is blind, can't you see my desire?
That's the way love.
Like a moth to a flame burned by the fire.
That's the way love.
My love is blind, can't you see my desire? That's the way love goes. Like a moth to a flame burned by the fire.
That's the way. That's the way love goes.
That's the way love goes. My love is blind, can't you see my desire?
That's the way love goes.
Come with me, don't you worry. I'm gonna make it crazy. I'll give you the time of your life. I'm gonna take you places you've never been before, and you'll be so happy that you came. Oh, I'm gonna take you there. Oh, that's the way love goes. Ooh, that's the way love goes.
That's the way love goes.
That's the way love goes. Desire. That's the way love goes. Desire.
That's the way goes.
Don't mind if I light candles. I like to watch us playing. Baby, I've got on what you like. Come closer, baby, closer. Reach out and feel my body. I'm gonna give you all my love. Oh, sugar, don't you hurry. You got me here all night. Just close your eyes and hold on tight. Oh, baby, don't stop, don't stop. Go deeper, baby, deeper. You feel so good, I'm gonna cry. Oh, I'm gonna take you there. Oh, that's the way love goes. Ooh, that's the way love goes. That's the way love goes. It goes, it goes. Ooh, that's the way love goes.
That's the way love goes.
That's the way love doesn't feel worry. No, that's the way love goes. Don't you know? Oh, that's the way. Like a moth by the fire. That's the way. My love is blind, can't you see my desire? Like a moth by the fire. That's the way. My love is blind, can't you see my desire? That's the way. Like a moth by the fire. My love is blind, can't you see my desire?
Thank you very much indeed, Janet Jackson. Guys, thank you for the comments. Keep them flowing in. So, guys, now what we've done, we've spoken about what we can control. Okay? So, they're the things now you can control. And there's no doubt about it, you can control the things that I've just spoken about. Now, the next thing is the things to remember. All right. So there's things that you have to bear in mind that really, I suppose, really are out of your control. And I think it's important to do this. Why? Because I think you need to be able to say to yourself, right, let's separate things I can control from what I can't control. Here's the first one, and it's kind of happening a little bit about living in the now, which I spoke about on the previous one. But the first one, things to remember, is the past can't be changed. All right, let me say that again. The past can't be changed. Now, it might sound such an obvious thing, but if you probably heard me speak earlier on, many people are actually stuck in their past, and they use the past as a reference for what they need to do in the future. Okay, so that's the first one. The past cannot be changed. Now, I know, when we think about it, you think, well, that's obvious, but it's not really, because how many times are we kind of hanging on to those things that never quite happened, and you keep saying to yourself, oh, I wish it did happen. Guys, it's not, it's gone. You can create a future and a present, but it's realizing that the past can't be changed. Okay, so that's one. The next thing I want to give you guys is happiness is a choice. Alright, this kind of goes into that control thing, but happiness is a choice. So if someone does say something to you that you do find offensive, that is offending you and it's bringing you down and making you feel negative, it's your choice to decide, you know what, I'm not buying into this. This is exactly what I want to do, and I'm going to move on. And I think Mimi made some comments about realizing that she had to do the same thing. Guys, a lot of the stuff I'm referring to are things that you can control this very minute after this show. Well, not straight away, because you need to listen to DJM, but you can do that tomorrow. But I'm saying all these things you can do tomorrow, and it's your choice. Now, guys, I love this lady. She talks about the magic man. Not heard it for a while. Love it. Rochelle, take it away. That was Rochelle. Love it. Guys, loving the comments. Keep the comments coming in. I really do enjoy this interaction because really that's how people grow. So let's have a quick summary on what I've spoken about of things to remember. The past can't be changed. We kind of touched that in the first kind of tips we spoke about. Happiness is a choice. Very important. You can choose to be happy. Okay? You don't have to be unhappy. You can choose. Okay? Everyone's journey is different. I really want to talk about this, and the reason I talk about this is because I think social media has its massive positives. Obviously, the amount of people I've met and connected with so many people. However, it certainly has its way of realizing that when you look on social media, especially on Instagram, and often you see some of the pictures that people have posted up and you're thinking, oh my gosh, their lives are amazing. Their lives are, guys, you've got to understand, it's just a snapshot that person's posted up. It might not even be them. But the reality is everyone's journey is different. So when we are in that situation of kind of feeling down and out and things not going right, remember, we all have different paths to travel. The last one, guys, I want us to remember is people's opinions do not have to be your reality. Let me say that again, guys. People's opinions do not have to be your reality. Do not have to be. And this is really, really important. Because I think we are in a world where people's opinions are making and breaking people's lives. And you've got to realise it is just their opinion. Alright? So they're just things to remember. Let's do a quick recap. The past can't be changed. It's fixed. It is where it is. Happiness is a choice. So you can choose to be happy. It's entirely up to you. Everyone's journey is different. That's really important. Everyone's journey is different. And once you realise that, hopefully you start to realise and think, all the things you're seeing on social media and this guy's got this and earning this amount of money, do you know what? Forget it. Yeah? That's their journey. You don't even know if it's true or not, but don't get lost in it. The next thing is other people's opinion does not have to become your reality. I read a great book 3 weeks ago and the title was What You Think of Me Is None of My Business. Isn't that a great title? What you think of me is none of my business. Guys, I love that. I also love this tune. I don't know if you've heard it I haven't heard it for ages. It's Sherik, Just Cool. Check this out, love it. Check the bass.
was nothing you did wrong. I was the one who left you all alone. Can you find it in your heart to forgive me? I know I've got to be the one they call love. Baby, just call.
There was Sharik. I just love that tune, and thank you so much again for the comments. Really appreciate that. So guys, let's now move on to looking at others. All right, so we looked at yourself, what you can control. This is how you can deal with others. Okay, so here's the first one. First one is listening to others builds trust. Let me explain now. These three words are so important. Listening builds trust. All right, so we spoke about yourself, what you can control, but how is it you can understand others a lot better? Here's the three words. Listening builds trust. Think of anyone in your life that you trust, and I will guarantee they're good listeners. Yeah? I've never had anyone say, no, Steve, I've got loads of mates. They never listen to me and I trust them all. Liar. Not true. It doesn't happen. Because listening builds trust. How many times have you spoken to someone, maybe on the phone, and you're aware that they're doing something else? Yeah? And you kind of get to that point when you realise, hold on a minute, this person's not actually listening to me. What happens to your conversation? It tails away, am I right? And you think to yourself, well, there's no point in continuing this conversation because that person's not listening to me. I don't trust what I say to this person because you're not listening to me. So guys, listening builds trust. So there's the first one, okay? The next one I want to give you guys, and this is a Stephen Covey quote. He's a motivational speaker. Seek first to understand before you can be understood. Let me say that again. Seek first to understand before you can be understood. The amount of times I've overheard conversations where people have said, no, keep quiet a minute, just listen to what I've got to say. And I just know that conversation between those two people is going to end up in an argument, right? And it's never ever going to get rectified. Seek first to understand before you can be understood. So again, we're talking about listening. Think about that, guys. While you're doing that, I'll drop this next tune. Love it. SFP. Whoa, it's been a while, man.
Girl, you'll never find another
guys, let's get moving on. So, like I said to you, so this is about other people. So, listening to others, very important. Remember I said earlier, listening builds trust. There's the first one for others, yeah? The next one, a quote by a guy called Stephen Covey, who once said that seek first to understand before you can be understood. Hold off on your opinion. Trying to understand people, don't say anything. Just listen. Seek first to understand before you can be understood. Now, this last one, unfortunately, men are quite guilty of doing this quite a lot, is do not try to solve the other person's problem. Just try to listen. Now, I've been accused of doing this on many occasions, trying to solve the person's problem. They've told you about something that's gone wrong, and you're trying to solve the problem. I think statistically it was proven that 9 times out of 10 they said people just don't really want you to solve the problem. They just want you to listen. So with those 3 tips, I want you to realise understanding others is about listening builds trust. Seek first to understand. As I said, don't give your opinion, just hold off a little bit, and then don't try to solve the other person's problem. Guys, just listen. It's very, very important. Now, when it comes to now solving the problem, I'm going to give you some tips on doing that. Before I do, I'm going to quickly say that SJM Saga, guys, don't go anywhere. Please do not go anywhere at 4 o'clock. You need to listen to this Kazumba. This guy's great. And even at the beginning, when he starts on his show, he gives you like about 2 or 3 minutes kind of a bit of a background for the next track he's going to play and that particular artist. This guy is in such knowledge in what he does, what he delivers with his Kazumba. The guy's amazing. So really is a great guy to listen to. Please just hold on a little bit longer before you need to go anywhere and listen to DJ M Saga. Amazing man. So let me drop this. Of course, it's got to be that touch of love. Take it away, please. Woo!
bit.
You got to
Keep me high, just a little bit, just a little bit.
with just a touch of love.
Can we spend some time? Just a touch of your love all the time. Soothes my mind. Just a touch of your love soothes my mind. Keeps me high. Just a touch of your love all the time. Soothes my mind. Just a touch of your love soothes my mind. Keeps me high. Just a touch of your love all the time. Soothes my mind. Just a touch of your love keeps me high. Just a touch of your love all the time. Soothes my mind. Just a touch of your love soothes my mind. Keeps me high.
I love that, love that. Thank you so much for the comments coming in, heart to heart. Thank you so much for enjoying the show. I must give a massive shout out to, well, there's a number of ladies actually, but I must give a massive shout out to Neve. Neve, I've done it, I said it, Neve, Janet and Sophie. But Neve, I mean, she's been buzzing around. She's a young lady that's been just doing the whole kind of pushing our Salsa Soul Radio, as well as Janet and Sophie, but really appreciate all of the efforts, and it's making a massive difference. It's bringing us together as a community, a Salsa Soul community, making a difference out there. And I often say this, we are the world's best. Now, people might say, what are you talking about? But I believe if you keep saying one thing, it becomes over and over and over again, and you believe it. That's where belief systems come from. So we are the world's best. Okay, so guys, let's now give you some hardcore tips now. I've told you a little bit about you. I've spoken about understanding others. Now, let's just talk about this last bit now, and it's very important. Now, what is loneliness? A friend of mine that I spoke to a couple of weeks ago said to me that he was very lonely. And I said, well, you've got all your family around you. You know, you've got your kids and everything. And he said, Steve, it's not so much being as physically a situation, it's in my head. I just feel lonely. And it really kind of made me realise that people and the government and what's going on with all of this don't really, I think, comprehend how big this actually is, and it does need addressing. I think we have to be aware that there's a physical situation of not having people around us, but then there's a situation where people are around us, but we still feel lonely. How do you overcome this? Well, obviously I haven't got the magic kind of solution to all of these things, but what I can say with the things I've spoken about before is about getting your mindset in place. One of the questions I'd always ask, and I asked him this, I said to him, why are you lonely? And he thought for a while, and he said to me, Steve, to be honest with you, I don't really know. And it was interesting, and I'm not a psychologist by any stretch of imagination, but I had him thinking a little bit more. And I said, well, I know you don't know, but what is it that makes you feel that things are not right? And he said, well, you know, my hours have been reduced since the whole COVID-19, and I just don't feel I can interact as much as I used to. I feel I have to always put the mask on. I just feel I can't be by myself. Now, as I said, I'm not a professional by any stretch of imagination, but realising, and I hope the government are aware of this, is that we are people, we're feeling people. We must feel. How many times you bought something through feeling rather than through thought? It was just a feeling. We do need that connection, and I think it's important that we're aware of this. So the first thing is you ask yourself is, why am I lonely? Now, a lot of people are saying it's a big thing for us in the Salsa communities not being able to connect up. That can be understood. But it's also being aware that you can control that environment. Not easy, and I do understand that, but one of the things, I'm going to give you a few tips and techniques to try to help you just address this. Now, the first thing is to create a routine. Now, yes, I'm called Mr. Motivator, the speaker of the orange tie, but listen, I've come through some really struggling times over this kind of COVID-19 lockdown situation, where if I didn't have my routine, I think I'd really struggle. So what I'd suggest as an action to take is to create a routine, create a timetable. Now, I'm guessing if you were at work, you would have a timetable. Some of you are at work, but those that are not and maybe still on the phone on situation, have a timetable. In other words, create a timetable, something that you know you must do the next day. Motivational speaker called Jim Rohn said, don't start your day until you finish it. And what he means by that is that you should have your day planned before you actually start it. I think it was Richard Branson. If you ever wanted to meet with him, he's booked up for the next 3 years. Why? Because he's got a plan that's been booked for him by other people. So in other words, he's got that focus, that direction. He knows what he needs to do the very next day, the next month, the next year. So for me to come out of that loneliness, that kind of feeling that, what do I do? Start planning for tomorrow. Yeah? Don't worry about today. Enjoy today listening to myself and DJ M Saga and Leone and all the rest of the guys on OSSR. But start planning today what you're going to do for tomorrow. Don't worry if it doesn't all fall into place. But as you get up, first thing in the morning, you'll have a routine. And dare I say, it will be a change to connect to this next song. Oh, love this. Take it away. Woo!
Pleasure when you treasure all that's new and true and gay. Easy living and we're giving what we know we're dreaming of. We are one having fun walking in the glow of love. Oh, yeah. Ooh, oh, oh, oh. Smiling faces going places, it's so wonder, it's so clear. By a fountain, climbing mountains as we hold each other near. Sipping wine, we try to find that special magic from above. As we share our affair, talking in the glow of love. The splendor of it all. We're surrounded and abounded. Summer, spring, winter, and fall. All the people meeting people, laughing, dancing till the dawn. And we'll always be like this, flowing in the glow of love. Yeah, 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 yeah. In the glow of love. I got
bit of Luther. You gotta love that. Gotta love that. Okay, let's go on. I can't believe it's 3:45, guys. Don't you dare go anywhere. DJ M Saga's going to be there, and he's just going to tear it up. Don't you dare go anywhere, guys. Very quick. I got a quick message asking me if I'm every week. No, I'm not every week. I'm every other week, and I talk about different topics every week. So thank you for that question, Sib. Yeah, it's all about inspiring. It's all about making a difference, and hopefully getting you to think differently about what you do and how you do it, you know. So guys, what's very good for you guys, I think it's very important as well, guys, is to realise that change comes from within, and it's about what you can do for yourself. So guys, let's have a quick look at what else we're doing. So setting a routine, if you can, guys, set a routine tomorrow. Don't worry about today. Today's all about OSSR, so just enjoy it, yeah. But tomorrow, get ready by planning today. Plan today, get done what you want to get done for tomorrow. So don't start your day until it's finished. Another thing I want you to do, guys, is when you plan that, arrange some me time. Now, you might be saying, Steve, I've got loads of me time, I've got too much me time. But no, what I'm saying to you, I'm saying make sure you plan that time, that it's your time, just your time, okay? You've got the kids, you've got the boyfriend, whoever, even if you've got no one, plan yourself so this is your particular time. I had a text message came through about the exercising. The exercising is important, and I know it's difficult for many of you, but I read somewhere when you move, you cause a fusion within your body. In other words, you're ready to make a difference. And I had to drop this track. If we're talking about body fusion, guys, check this one out. Love it. Woo.
because I don't waste my time. I said I like what you do when you do it to me, because you know what you do to me. So take your time when you do it and your energy, because I don't waste body chemistry.
This energy is coming to a peak. Slow down, baby. I'm feeling kind of weak. This patient game is about to drive me mad. 'Cause all your love I ain't never had.
I like what you're doing when you do it to me, because you know what you're doing when you do it to me. So take your time when you do it and your energy, because I don't waste body chemistry. I said I like what you're doing when you do it to me, because you know what you're doing when you do it to me. So take your time when you do it and your energy, because I don't waste body chemistry.
I love that for all the Rare Groove heads out there, guys. Yes, guys, we're getting close to the end. So let's just quick recap on what you can actually do. What you can actually do, guys, create a routine for tomorrow. All right. In other words, what you're doing, you're trying to departmentalize your thinking for tomorrow. So in other words, your tomorrow is planned. Don't worry too much if it doesn't go to plan, but at least you have a plan, okay? The next thing is, guys, is to allow some me time. Thanks very much, Sib, saying she's got loads of me time. That is very important, though, because you have to value yourself. The next thing, which is so important, I touched on already, is limiting your social media use. Now, guys, if it weren't for social media, we wouldn't be here at the station. However, you have to monitor it, because if you think about it, social media is not monitored. So the stuff that comes in there, honestly, it comes in thick and fast, all types of outrageous stuff. And if you're not filtering your mind, honestly, it's going to take you to places you just don't want to go. So how do you do that? What I always do first thing in the morning, between 6 and 12 o'clock, I do not turn on the TV. I do not turn my phone on. I leave it on flight mode, and I get all the things that I have planned to do the day before. Does that make sense? You see how this all ties up? I make sure that between 6 o'clock, doing my exercises, yoga, etc., get some work done. Work could be just going shopping. It could be whatever it is, but I'm not going to tap into anything that is going to change what I have planned to do. Does it make sense? I just think it's important that you decide that you're in control. Honestly, I've done it before. When you go online, you start looking at something, and before you know it, 20, 30, 40 minutes later, you are looking at something that you have no interest in whatsoever. Now, it's important you bear this in mind, because if you don't, what tends to happen is that you drift. And, I've drifted before so much. Listen, I found it a struggle to get back. So, have that plan, turn the phone off, put it on flight mode is normally the best thing, or put it on silent if, for example, you might be taking urgent calls. I do understand that, but you must do something. Do you know what I mean? I'm hoping this is making sense. You have to do something. You can't just let the day take over you. Hear me say, it's not what you get. It's not about getting through the day. It's about getting from the day. It's so important, please. Next thing is, guys, is to make sure that you stay connected to your friends. Now, let me explain when I say this. On Facebook, we have loads of friends. All right, I've got some, 3,000, 4,000. I don't even know half of them. Obviously, I don't. What you do, you just become friends. Now, when notifications come in for people's birthdays and you don't know them, 9 times out of 10 you're going to ignore it. Why? Because you don't know them. But I'm talking about just giving for the sake of giving. It's that person's birthday, okay? And what I often say is just, you can't lose anything by giving to others. So often I'll just ping off a message, happy birthday John, happy birthday. I don't know them, but it doesn't matter, because what are you doing? You're giving something, and 9 times out of 10 it comes back. It happened to me this morning where a lady, she was following me, I think I might be following her. She came back with a message saying, Steve, thank you so much for the message, I really appreciate you doing that. It's been a tough time for me. Can you see what I've done? And I didn't know I was going to do that, but what I've done just by passing that one message onto that person, and it was their birthday. All I'm going to say to you guys is that all the stuff I've spoken about are things that you can implement yourself, and it can happen just like that. Yeah? You've got to be able to take that move, you've got to be able to take that step and take that action. Now, those that listen to my show, you'll know whenever I'm about to finish up, I finish up with the main man. But before I do, I'm going to give her one big massive push to stay where you are, because DJ M Saga is going to be there. Leonie's around as well. Please don't go anywhere. She is amazing. A great show as well. DJ Huey, how can you not listen to Huey? And Mauricio, Rees, guys, you've got to be plugged in. I don't want you going anywhere. So, I'm going to say this one thing that Mr. LV is going to take away. Guys, thank you so much for your comments. I hope you have enjoyed the show, and I'll see you in a couple of weeks' time. Mr. LV, please take the show away. Thank you. Whee!
Love me, you are my shining star, my guiding light, my love fantasy. There's not a minute, hour, day or night that I don't love you. You're at the top of my list, cause I'm always thinking of you. I still remember in the days when I was scared to touch you, how I spent my day dreaming, planning how to say I love you. You must have known that I had feelings deep enough to swim in. That's when you opened up your heart and you told me to come and oh my love. 1,000 kisses from you is never too much. I just don't wanna stop. Oh my love. A million days in your arms is never too much. I just don't wanna stop. Too much, never too much, never too much, never too much. Woke up today, looked at your picture just to get me started. I called you up but you weren't there and I was broken hearted. Hung up the phone, can't be too late, the boss is so demanding. Opened the door up and to my surprise there you were standing. Who needs to go to work to hustle for a